Yo, what's up, Broncos country? This is Eddie with Rocky Mountain Blitz, and I wanted to get on here tonight and talk about some of the rumors and the press conference that was held today by Sean Payton and George Payton, and I want to give my takeaways and my thoughts about what you know I think they're going to do in the draft, and kind of sift through what they were talking about. So here we go. And I also want to point out, starting Sunday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, I will be on a new page called uh, Colorado Sports Net or Connection. I'm sorry. So I'll be doing live videos from there starting on Sunday. I'll be doing them every Sunday night at 7 Mountain Time. So anyway, let's get into the stuff that happened today. So, of course, the Broncos, George Payton, Sean Payton, they had their press conference today, talking about the draft, which is only 1 week away now. And a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation, a lot of stuff flying around out there right now. And, I'm getting excited. I'm pumped. Like, it's 7 days away, and, the draft's going to be here before we know it. And we're going to see what the Broncos are going to do in the first round. Everybody's excited about this. Everybody's, just waiting and just speculating. They're like, what are the Broncos going to do? Are they going to trade back? Are they going to trade up? Are they going to stay at 12? A lot of stuff going on, a lot of news, a lot of rumors, and I'm here for it. Like, I love it. I'm enjoying every second of it, especially today. We finally got a press conference today, with the Broncos for the pre draft, getting ready for the draft. And what I saw today, I watched that whole press conference. I think it was like 33 minutes I watched. And the Broncos, like Sean Payton and George, both make it seem like the Broncos are going to trade up, and they're willing to do anything they can to do that. Whether it's trade 3 first-round picks, trade some first-round picks and Patrick Surtain, it doesn't seem like nothing's off the table for the Broncos. Now, yes, this could be a smokescreen. I'm not saying it can't, and it's very possibly it is. We know that the Broncos. I've been hearing this a lot over the last couple of weeks, and I mean, honestly, at this point, I do believe that that all the speculation going around right now that the Broncos are desperate for a quarterback. I kind of agree with it. I mean, they have to be, right. You literally have Jared Stidham and Ben DiNucci as your quarterbacks on the roster right now. That's it. That's all you have. Yes, I understand. I've said this multiple times over the months. Ever since the season ended, Russ got benched. I knew the Broncos weren't going to be good in 2024. I'm pretty sure everybody expects that to be the case. Like, they're not going to be very good. But, so why, I understand people are like, well, maybe they will go into the season with Jared Stidham. But some of the moves that they've made, signing Josh Reynolds. Granted, yes, they got rid of Russ, they got rid of Simmons, they got rid of some good key pieces. But it's like, they've added pieces that make you think, maybe they will try to, not say compete, but be relevant this year. And, I've been saying this since the end of the season. Like, this is the perfect year to go get your quarterback, regardless of who that quarterback is, whether if it's JJ, whether if it's Bo Nix, Drake May, whoever it is. Get your guy, and if you're going to be competitive this year, or if you're going to be bad, whichever, I still think they're going to probably, be, they're not going to compete for the Super Bowl. They might squeeze into the playoffs, but with the AFC the way it's lined up, with all the teams, Joe Burrow is going to be back next year. Like, I don't think the Broncos are going to get into the playoffs this year. But give your young guy a year. Like, they have to get a quarterback. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. This is the perfect year to get your rookie, get him some experience. We all know Sean Payton's offense is really hard to learn. We understand that. So why not give the rookie a year to learn the offense? Whether if he sits behind Stidham half the season, all season, or for just a couple of games, or if he starts right away, let him play in the system. Let him get used to it. Let him do what he's got to do, to learn the system. And honestly, with all these rumors, like, I would not be shocked in the slightest if the Broncos do trade like 2 firsts and Patrick Surtain to move up to like 3. As the rumors came out today that the Patriots are willing to move back. They're willing to trade the 3rd overall pick. So we know the Cardinals for the last couple of months, they've been willing to trade the 4th pick. And we know the Vikings are most likely going to move up. They traded for a second first round pick this year. So we know they're going to move up. They're going after a quarterback. So there's no way that the Broncos just go into the season with Jared Stidham and Ben DiNucci. They got to get their quarterback this year. Like, if I understand this team has a lot of holes, and I've said this in the past, they have holes. They got, positions they need to fill. But quarterback is the main important one, and you do whatever it takes to get that quarterback. Now, what do I think the Broncos are going to do? Honestly, I do think this all trading up to get the, like JJ or whoever is a smokescreen. I still think they're set on pick 12 and taking Bo Nix. Personally, like, a lot of the mock drafts I've been watching over the last couple of weeks, some of them have changed. It's like, oh, they're going to take a corner. Oh, they're going to take a pass rusher. But the one consistent, like, not every mock draft, but even ones I've watched up until like yesterday, some of them still have the Broncos taking Bo Nix. It makes the most sense for the Broncos. Like, I understand not wanting to trade future assets. I understand not wanting to trade Patrick Surtain. You don't want to get rid of those pieces. You don't want to get rid of the future. And if Sean Payton is, set on me, like, what, Bo Nix is the guy, why trade up? Why trade up for the sake of trading up? I understand he probably wants JJ too, but if Bo Nix fits your system, he might not be as, have the arm that JJ has, or maybe not as good. But if he fits the system and he works in the system and Sean Payton can get wins out of him, why not? Maybe Sean can turn him into a Hall of Famer. I don't know. But it just makes more sense to me to stay at pick 12 and take Bo Nix. That way you ain't giving up future assets. I know a lot of people are like, well, you guys, and I am on board with that. Like, if Sean says, no, JJ is my guy, we have to get him. Like, you do what you have to do to get him. Like, if Sean's like, no, I can win with this guy. We can make the Super Bowl. We have to build the team around him, but JJ is the guy of the future. So we need to go up and get him. Trade Surtain, trade for, first round picks from the future. Just do it so I can get my guy and we can build this team and, get our quarterback of the future. If that's what happens, I'm fine with it. And I posted on the Mile High Huddle page earlier that I was like, if we trade up, there's going to be a lot of people mad. A lot of people mad at the fact that the Broncos trade all those assets to go up to get a quarterback. But you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you stay at 12, take Nix, or you trade up and get JJ, or you trade back and take a different player. Someone's going to be upset. Someone's going to find a problem with what the Broncos did. Honestly, the one thing that would make me upset is the fact if the Broncos don't take a quarterback this year. If they trade back and take a quarterback, I'm not going to be like, oh, screw the Broncos. I ain't going to watch them no more, because I've seen a lot of people say that. Or I've lost faith in them. I wouldn't lose faith. I'd be really disappointed, because I'd be like, well, why didn't you just take Bo Nix? Why don't you just go get him? Because I've said this in the past. What if you got the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh with Justin Herbert? You got freaking the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Granted, I don't think the Raiders head coach, I forgot his name, is going to be like, an all-caliber Hall of Fame coach. But what if they get Bo Nix or Michael Penix and they, that guy turns into a freaking Hall of Famer, or turns into a superstar, and the Broncos are still sitting here with Jared Stidham as the starter going through another year? Granted, we know that we're probably not going to be very good, but at least give the fans something to hope for in 2025. Other than going through the season and be like, okay, hopefully we get a top 5 pick and we're able to go into the draft next year and get a quarterback. Give the fans something this year, Sean. That's what I want. I want a quarterback. I want Bo Nix. That's who I want, honestly. But if Sean is on J.J. McCarthy's train, if he thinks he's the guy of the future, then you have to trade whatever you have to get him. But if they don't take a quarterback this year, like, this season is going to be really long and it's going to be really boring. And I think I think more fans are going to be upset about the fact that the Broncos don't take a quarterback this year than they would if the Broncos traded up. I trust Sean Payton. I do. Whoever his quarterback is, if he drafts one this year, whoever that guy is, whether if it's Drake May, JJ, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, whoever it is, I trust Sean to get the best out of him and develop the guy correctly. Personally, I do. But seriously, we have to get a quarterback this year. And all these rumors about the Broncos trading up. Like I said, I saw a thing earlier that said the Broncos or Sean Payton and the Broncos are willing to even trade, Patrick Surtain to get up to 3 or get up to wherever to get their quarterback of the future. As much as that would pay me, I don't want to see Patrick Surtain go. He's our best player. But at the same time, it's like, what are you going to do? I understand Patrick Surtain is one of those he's that guy on defense. But you have to get the quarterback. Plain and simple. You have to. There's no other, excuse at that point. You have to get the quarterback of the future. And if you don't, you're really, really going to be hurting. Like, quarterback is the most important position on the team. And if you don't get it, it doesn't matter if you got Patrick Surtain. You're not going to win many games. Like, as Bronco fans, we know over the last 8 years, we've been told we're just a quarterback away. We're just a quarterback away. We've had a top 10, top 5 defense in the last 8 years, every year. Has that helped us make the playoffs? No, it hasn't helped us win the Super Bowl or make the playoffs. So as much as I would hate to see Surtain go, because I love him, he's a great player. He's a generational talent. We need the quarterback. We need him. And Big E Bronco, yeah, I agree. We haven't been a quarterback away, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if they were to trade Surtain, as much as it would kill me to see him go, we know an elite defense ain't going to win us games. You have to have, like, take the Chiefs, for example. Yeah, they have one of the top tier defenses in the league, but they got the best quarterback in the league. It doesn't matter. Like, look at the Steelers. They've made the playoffs. I'll give you that. With 3 different quarterbacks last year, mind you. They had an elite defense, like a top 5 defense. They can't make the Super Bowl. They're not going to win it. The 49ers have one of the best, defenses in the league. They made the Super Bowl, but they can't win it. You have to have that guy. You have to. The Broncos have to do whatever they can this year to get the quarterback of the future. I personally want Bo Nix because I think he fits Sean Payton's system. I've been watching a lot more tape on him. He's perfect. You don't have to trade assets for him. You can get him at pick 12, and you can keep Surtain. But if you want to get the likes of a J.J. McCarthy or you want to get a Drake May, you're going to have to trade either 3 first-rounders or probably a first-rounder this year, which whatever, you're going to trade anyway, and Patrick Surtain to go up and get him. And like I said, Sean Payton's like, no, JJ's my guy. Drake May's my guy. I'm going up to get him. I'm not going to be upset about it. I'll be like, you know what? Get your quarterback. Do what you got to do. I will be upset if Surtain's part of that deal, though. Not that I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm done with the Broncos. It's just more of a disappointment. It just sucks, seeing Surtain go. But I understand it and I accept it if it happens. So I just don't know, man. Just a lot of rumors, a lot of stuff going on. I cannot wait for the draft next week, dude. I am so freaking pumped. Like, this next week's going to be so much fun for me, dude. I got my new show coming on, like I said, Colorado Sports Connection. I got a new show coming on there. You got the draft next week. Dude, I am psyched. And look at this. We're already pretty much a week away from the draft. The season ended, back in January, like 3-4 months ago? Dude, we're literally 4 months out of the freaking 2023 season. We're not that far from the 2024 season. Like, it's going to be here before we know it, like that. Like, training camp's going to, like, they've already started their voluntary mini camps. Now, a lot of people are upset because of Sutton, whatever. They'll get a deal worked out with Sutton. I'm not worried about that. Unless Sutton's a trade piece. Unless they're like, no, we don't want to trade Surtain. Maybe we could trade Sutton and move up. I don't know. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. It's a possibility, but I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Broncos are going to stay at pick 12 and take Bo Nix. But you got voluntary, camp right now. Pretty soon you're going to have rookie mini camp here in a few weeks after the draft. Then you're going to have the schedule released in May. Then you're going to, June kind of sucks because, there's not really a whole lot going on in June. Nothing really happens after that until about end of July. That's when, training camp starts, So, and I'm going to be at training camp this year. Let me know down in the comments who's all going to training camp this year because I'm definitely going to be there. I went last year and I had a freaking blast. But I'm going again this year. I'm gonna try to get as many tickets as I can to go as many days as I can. I'm gonna have a lot of fun. Maybe I'll do a live while I'm there on my phone, but I'm gonna have a blast this year with training camp. But before we know it, it's gonna be here. Then preseason's gonna be here. Then before we know it, the season's gonna be here. So I'm excited, man. Y'all should be excited too. Regardless of what the Broncos do, I understand a lot of people are going to be mad if the Broncos trade up, trade future first, trade Surtain, whatever, or even Sutton. But let's just look towards the future. Like if they do trade up, just be excited. You finally have a coach that's going to get the quarterback he wants, and he's going to develop him and get the guy he wants to win. Hopefully win. And that's more than I can say for the past 8 years. Like I am so excited. Like I said, the only thing that's really going to make me somewhat upset on draft or night one of the draft is that the Broncos don't take a quarterback. Like, yes, I understand people are like, we got a bunch of holes. Quarterback's the main one. Everybody knows that's the main one. Yes, you need a center. You maybe need a pass rusher. You need probably a defensive line guy, but or a tight end. But quarterback is the main one. They have to take one. And honestly, I think all these, things about the Broncos trading up, it's all a smokescreen. Because they know every team out there knows the Broncos are hungry for a quarterback. They're desperate for a quarterback. So, if that's the case, the trading up is going to be even more, undoable because it's like teams are going to be like, oh, you need to trade up. You need a quarterback. We know you need a quarterback, Denver. So give us 4 first-round picks to get up to 3 or 4. Like I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you know what I mean. The price is going to go a lot higher because teams are knowing that the Broncos need a quarterback. I mean, the same can be said for the Vikings. The teams know the Vikings need a quarterback. They're not, Sam Darnold, they got him there for a year, but they know that's not the future of the Vikings. They know the Vikings are going to try to take a cue. So with that said, that's why I think the Broncos should just save their future draft capital, draft Bo Nix at 12, and just let him develop into the Sean Payton system. He's a perfect fit for it. It might take him a half a season, might take him a whole year, but give him time in that system, and I guarantee you, like, he might flourish this year, but if not, he'll flourish in 2025. Especially since the fact that next offseason you're going to have $100 million plus in cap space. You're going to be able to put a team around that kid easily. You're gonna, you still got to deal with the Russ contract, but it's only $32 million you got to deal with in 2025. That's why they took so much dead cap this year. That way they can get their quarterback, they can develop him, give him a year's experience, and then go into 2025 with $100+ million in cap space and spend and put a team around the kid. So, man, I'm excited. The draft is 1 freaking week away, dude. And before we know it, it's going to be here. And we're all like I said, next Thursday night, dude, is going to be hectic. There's going to be a lot of people probably upset, a lot of people jumping for joy. I mean, I know a couple of pages on Facebook are going to be popping off, because of the draft, of who we draft, regardless of who it is. Like, I think there's going to be a lot more people upset if we don't take a Q in round 1. But if we do, these Facebook pages, man, and wherever, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, is going to be popping off of Bronco fans going nuts. And I also wanted to throw this out there. I think next Thursday for the draft, like I work and I get off at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And I think the draft starts right around that time, like 8 p.m. Eastern, which would be 6 our time in Mountain here. But if I can get on and I'm going to try to watch the draft. I might have it on my TV right here. I'll be watching it. I might flip my computer around to where I can watch it and do a live. But I might have Muhammad on here with me again next week. I don't know. To talk about the draft and go through it, or maybe I'll just wait until after the draft's over, maybe Friday or something, after the first round's over and do a video. But man, we all should be pumped. I'm pretty sure I'm comfortable in saying I'm like 99% sure the Broncos are taking a quarterback next Thursday. They will take a quarterback. Sean Payton's not going to go yes, I understand people say, well, he talked up Stidham last offseason, blah, blah, blah. I think he did that for the fact that, he was going to come in and make it work with Russ or try to make it work with Russ. And whenever it didn't, he was trying to give Broncos fans, he was preparing for the future 2023 season and giving Bronco fans maybe a little, like, hey, If Russ doesn't work, this could be our guy, for the rest of the season. But I don't think Sean Payton's going to go into 2024 with just Stidham and Ben DiNucci on the roster. I really don't. I don't think that's the plan. I think the plan is to draft either Bo Nix or JJ and go into the 2024 season with them. Because I was actually watching Colin Cowherd earlier. He was talking about how the Vikings might trade up to I think 3 or 4 with the Patriots or Cardinals and take JJ, and they probably let him sit for the year behind Sam Darnold. So maybe you could do the same thing. I'm not saying that Stidham couldn't start the season and possibly play half or if not all the season in 2024, but I just don't think they're going to go into the 2024 season with just Ben DiNucci and Stidham on the roster. They're going to have their future at quarterback on the roster, whether that's JJ or Bo Nix on the roster. And Stidham most likely is probably going to start the 2024 season. He might play a couple of games. He might play half the season. He might play all the season. Who knows? But I'm 99% sure the Broncos are taking a Q in the draft this year. Night one, they're taking a quarterback, whether it's Bo or JJ. That's the two I think it's going to be. JJ, they're going to have to trade up for. Bo Nix, they could stay at 12 and take him. And a lot of people are saying, they were talking about getting Penix. Maybe Penix is the guy. I mean, there's not really been a whole lot of, talk from, the Broncos or anybody to the Broncos about Michael Penix. It's mostly been JJ McCarthy or Bo Nix. Who's to say that this all could be a smokescreen and the Broncos take Penix at 12? Or maybe they trade up. You don't hear anything about Drake May going to the Broncos either. It's the two quarterbacks that have been talked about most about going to the Broncos are JJ McCarthy and Bo Nix. Maybe it's Michael Penix. Maybe it's Drake May. Who knows? But once again, Drake May, they're going to have to trade up for, just like JJ. Just like Bo Nix, if the Broncos want Penix, they can stay at 12 and draft him. So, a lot of fun. I can't wait for next Thursday. And then, like I said, before you know it, training camp's going to be here. Then, preseason and the season's going to be here. I think we're only a couple weeks away from them releasing the 2024 schedule. That's another thing I can't wait to see. We know who the Broncos' opponents are this year and which games are home and away, but it's going to be so exciting to see what weeks we're playing. And at the first week one, if the Broncos are at home, you best believe I will be at that game. I went to one game last year, and it was the preseason game against the Rams. And because I really didn't have time or, to go to games during the season. But this year, I will be at week one if it's at home in Denver. Because I always wanted to go. I got to go to Bronco games in the past. I've went to a few. But I really, really want to go to a home opener here. I really do. So best believe if it's week one or week two, whichever is the first home game here in Denver, I'll be at. So let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think is going to happen next Thursday? Do you think the Broncos are going to take quarterback? And if they do, which quarterbacks are going to be? Are they going to trade to get McCarthy or Drake May? Will they stay at 12 and take Penix or Bo? Let me know what your guys' thoughts are about that. Do you guys think the Broncos will take a quarterback in round one? So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please like, comment, subscribe on this channel. And I will talk to you guys on Sunday night. Like I said, I'm going to be doing lives on Sunday night starting at 7 p.m. Mountain Time on Colorado Sports Connection. That's the name of the page. You can look it up on YouTube. Go join it, follow it, and then you'll be able to see more videos. But until then, I will see you guys Sunday night, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.